Alright, Chris, you want to know the recipe I use for making candied bacon, and right here, this is the things you need. First, obviously, you need some bacon. You don't want to get bacon that's super, super thick or bacon that's super thin. If it's too thick, it's not going to cook properly all the way through. If it's too thin, it will burn in the oven. So just, a good regular thickness. Any kind of bacon will do, doesn't matter the brand or anything. Next, you'll need brown sugar. You can use dark brown sugar or light brown sugar, although I'm using light brown sugar because I think light brown sugar has a sweeter taste. You'll also need a little bit of red cayenne pepper. You mix that in with the sugar into like a pan. Yeah, you put the brown sugar and the red cayenne pepper in there, and that's the mixture. So it's got a sweet and a little spice to it. And of course you need a baking sheet. I got a pizza pan here, and then you can use aluminum foil. If you see here, I bent the edges here, or I made like little ridges in the foil. That helps the bacon cook evenly all around. You can also just use a sheet of wax paper, but I think I like the aluminum foil better. So those are the ingredients for the cooking. Alright, now the next step is you want to preheat your oven to 325 degrees. What you're going to do is you're going to put the bacon in at that temperature for about 10 to 11 minutes at first to crisp it up. Okay? So here I've got the 6 pieces of bacon. I cut them in half because it's easier to eat and it's easier to share after it's finished cooking. So everyone gets you can get a half piece of bacon or take as many as you want. You don't want to put too many pieces of bacon onto the pan. You don't want to overcrowd it because it makes it harder to cook. So I always do about 6 here. And they're cut in half, so I get 12 pieces. And you just line them up on top, and you can see how they got plenty of space underneath so they can cook underneath as well. And you just take this and you put it in the oven for 10 to 11 minutes. So while that bacon is cooking for that 10 minutes or so, you want to go ahead and put some brown sugar into like a little pan or some sort of container like this. We're using that much brown sugar. You want enough so that it covers the bacon, each little piece, because once the bacon is finished cooking that first 10 minutes, you take it out and then you apply the bacon or the brown sugar and mixture to it, and then you put it back in. So I'm going to add a little bit of red cayenne pepper here. You could add as much as you want, you could add as little as you want. Just remember, the more you add, the spicier it gets a little bit, but you still want it to be sweet a little bit from the brown sugar. So you could also add other things if you wanted to, other spices to try out things like I've tried Chinese spice is pretty good, or some other like peppers or sweet things like molasses spice or something. But the basics is brown sugar and a little bit of red cayenne pepper. And you give this a mix. Also make sure that the brown sugar that you're using is not too old. You don't want it to be hard and clumpy. If it is, it's going to have trouble adhering to the bacon. You want it like powdery so that you can put the bacon in there no problem and get it all over the bacon. Okay, and now after that we wait for the bacon to finish cooking. Alright, so the first phase of cooking the bacon is finished. Take a look. Okay. Yep. As you can see there, it's not fully cooked or anything, still very pale. So what we're going to do now, increase bake time to 375. So the second cooking part is going to be hotter, so the bacon will then crisp up. The reason you cook it at 325 the first time for the 10 minutes is so that the bacon stays a little flatter. If you cook it too high at 375 right away, then the bacon it'll curl up and crisp up too quickly. You don't want it curly because then it makes it harder to put the brown sugar mixture onto it. One other thing is also you don't want to immediately put it in the brown sugar because it might be a little hot. I mean, if you don't mind your fingers getting hot when you put them in there, that's fine, but it depends. So let me see here. Oh yeah, this is fine. So just put it in there, kind of cover it here, flip it over, cover both sides, just plop it in there. Another trick is you don't want to put too much brown sugar on it. If you put too much, it makes it harder for the bacon to crisp up. So you do that with all the pieces here. Just kind of put it on there, sprinkle it on there. Don't pat it down. Do not pat the bacon and the brown sugar into each other. You want it a lightness to it. But if you want more sugar, you can always do that too. I mean, this is all to your desire. It takes several cooking times. Oh, it looks like it's ready for 375 now. And you just do this for every single piece. So after this, pretty much the last part, once you cover every little piece of bacon, is you then put it into the 375 degree oven, and that's going to be in there for about 15 minutes. And after 15 minutes, what you do is you check on it to see how it looks. So we will come back, and once all this is finished, I'll cover all these and then check on it after 15 minutes. So one other thing real quickly, you saw me putting it in one bacon at a time. You can put in multiple pieces of bacon and quickly speed up the process. You can put like 4 or 5, however many you want, and just flip them around. And if you get too much brown sugar on the bacon, all you have to do is you just pick it up, just shake it off a little bit. But that's if you feel it's too much. And this is what it looks like once all the brown sugar is on. You can already see it's kind of melting in with the bacon grease. And if you want, you can also sprinkle a little more over everything. It's all up to you. One last thing before you put all this in the oven. This brown sugar here, this mixture, this is no longer no good. Once you're done using it on the bacon, then you just toss this out. You cannot put this back in with the other brown sugar because remember, it's a mixture of brown sugar, cayenne pepper, and it's been touching raw meat, the raw bacon. So that's a hazard. So don't put that back in the bag of brown sugar. You just toss it out. Okay? One other thing, I like adding a little dab of crushed red pepper for additional spice. That's me. Maybe some people don't like that. I do like that. A little bit, it gives it a little kick. Alright, the bacon, that last portion is done here. Check on the bacon. Okay. Looks okay. I like mine a little bit crispier, so I'll put it back in there for another few minutes. 2 or 3 more minutes for me. Alright, bacon's been in there for a few minutes now. Oh yeah, that's good. That's good right there. So that is the bacon process. Cooking process is all done. Now I gotta let it cool because it is way too hot to handle. So I will go ahead and put it on a plate. Right, and just put it on a plate like this and let it cool for like maybe 5 minutes or so. And then the brown sugar will harden on the bacon Right now it's very hot. It's still, you can see right here, it's making like little strings of sugar. Yeah, you don't want to eat this bacon right out the oven. Some pieces may be a little blacker on the edges or so, some might not be. It all just depends on how, see like this piece here, it's kind of thin. So that'll be crispier. Oops, getting stuck there. Alright, and you just leave that bacon there, let it rest for like 5 minutes, and then you got candied bacon.